Hey, literature. Today I'm introducing the actual piece of writing, Civil Disobedience by Henry David Thoreau. In the previous days, we've been focused on the three elements of civil disobedience, and today we'll actually get into the reading. So to remind you of those three elements, an act of civil disobedience has to be fighting for a just or righteous cause that will uplift many people. You can't be damaging people or property when you're enacting civil disobedience, and those who enact civil disobedience must be accepting of their consequences. So this piece was written by one of our transcendentalist authors, Henry David Thoreau, and he was protesting the Mexican-American War. In a very simple summary, way oversimplified summary of Mexican-American War, it was really over who owns Texas. Is it Mexico or is it America? So it was 1846 to 1848, right before the Civil War. And if you think about it, war serves several purposes. You can go to war to gain land, to spread beliefs, to gain freedom from a tyrannical government. And Henry David Thoreau believed that some of these ideas were worth going to war for and others weren't. So the Mexican-American War was obviously to gain land, and he said that's not a good reason for people to fight and serve and die. He believed maybe spreading beliefs and certainly gaining freedom would be a good reason, but he didn't believe gaining land. In fact, in this piece, he actually talks about the Revolution of 76, which would be 1776, or the American Revolution, and he says that was a good reason to go to war, and this one is not. So maybe as we read, consider which reasons for going to war would you think are worth it? All of them, or none of them, or some of them. That's what Henry David Thoreau was protesting. We shouldn't go to war just to gain land. And so he was drafted, refused the draft, and then was arrested. So he accepted his consequences, and he wrote this piece as a reflection of his time in jail. Now, you can find on Schoology in this Civil Disobedience folder, here's the actual text. It's just called Civil Disobedience by Thoreau. So if we click on this document, you can see it's 2 pages, and we'll be reading it for a couple of days. And it's broken up into a couple sections. You can see where the little line breaks are. So when I say sections 1 through 3, here's 1, 2, 3 on the first page. And then on the second page, sections 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to revisit close reading for this piece. So I want you to go to File, Make a Copy, so that you have your own editable document. And if you remember our steps for close reading, our first step is to look up unfamiliar words and define them. So if I see the word motto and I'm not sure, go ahead and type it into Google, grab the definition, a short sentence or phrase. Okay, and then I can comment and add that definition to my reading. The second step of close reading is to highlight what you deem to be the most important. And for this instance, I would consider those 3 elements of civil disobedience: fighting for a just cause, not damaging people or property, and accepting consequences. If you see something that matches up with one of those 3, and this would be maybe a bad example, but just showing you, go ahead and highlight whatever you believe that to be. Try to highlight at least one thing, at least one sentence in each section. Then finally, our last step of close reading is to summarize the entire section in one sentence in modern language in your own words. So these 3 short paragraphs, I might just add a comment right here and type out my summary. Here is my summary, right? And then I can comment and I'll have that on my own document. Those are the steps for close reading. We'll be going through this piece over the next couple of days.